My whole life, I've had this narrative that I'm an only child, and I found out through this process that I have 7 other donor siblings. Hi guys, how's it going? And you may have seen a video about a month ago now where I was talking about finding out that I was donor conceived. That video is there for you to watch. I'm not going to go over the quite bizarre way that I found out and sort of my initial reactions and thoughts. It's now been about 2.5 months since I found out that I was donor conceived, finding out at age 30, so been a bit of a whirlwind of ups and downs with it. The first, I think, month or so was quite like a bigger shock, whereas now I feel like I've kind of found my peace with it a lot and found sort of, not that overwhelming sense of the rug being pulled from underneath you, even though I still don't think I've properly processed it yet, and I think there'll be times when it'll come, maybe. But at the moment, I feel like I'm in a really good place with it, really good place with everyone involved. I think I had some conversations since that last video, which I feel like have been very positive. And in a way, I feel like it's better to live in truth than to live and love in lies, I guess. Even though it's completely okay to not, if you are going through a hard time and you've just found out you're donor conceived, completely valid to feel not okay. Trust me, it's completely fine. This video, I want to talk today about donor conceived siblings. So your donor siblings. My whole life, I've had this narrative that I'm an only child, and I found out through this process that I have 7 other donor siblings, which is quite bizarre. And the way I found this out is by contacting the HEPC, I believe. I'll put a link below. And you basically fill out a form. It's a bit confusing of where the form is. I had to email them to actually send me the link because I got a bit confused because there's so many different options. And at first I wasn't sure if to be honest, I wasn't sure about anything. I wasn't sure what to contact or who to contact or what. And kind of, I've never thought of this ever. So I've never researched it or anything. So I had to do a lot of research in a very small window of time. But the first thing was to find out from the HEPC, you can find out any non-identifiable information about your donor if you're between 1991 and 2005, which is me. So I found out some bits about, eye colour, hair colour, he was a student, his age, his religion, all of that stuff. Kind of got a little bit of a picture without knowing anything really specifically about him. But more shocking was I found out that I have 7 donor siblings. And they basically just send you this list, and it's like, they're the years they were born. And very strangely, they were all born between 1995 and I can't remember if it's 1994 or 1996, but either a year before or a year after. So we're pretty much all the same age, which I think was the most bizarre part of it to me, because I was like, could I have met one of these people? Like, could we have crossed paths? Like, I don't know. I think that was the initial, but also just that fact of my identity, of me being an only child, no longer existed. So that was quite, don't know the word, but a bit of a head F to get my head around. But one thing that I knew for certain very early on was that I wanted to meet the donor siblings. My donor, I think I would like to meet, but I feel like it just feels like really, I just don't know how that journey's going to be, and I think I'm almost protecting myself a little bit. Just because I don't know really about the process of that, and I kind of just feel like in my head the siblings are going to have more likely, the siblings are going to be more likely to want to, maybe if I found one of them, to receive contact rather than the donor. Don't know why, but that's just the feeling I get. Especially given he was a student, he was like 20, early 20s, all of that stuff. But there's lots of great positive groups. There's a group called We Are Donor Conceived, and there's lots of other groups online which I didn't know existed. On Facebook, the We Are Donor Conceived group is. And people are just amazing, aren't they? lots of people sharing their stories. I read them like quite often. I just find it really interesting how many people have had this same experience of not finding out until later in life, which is nice to know that you're not by yourself. And that's what I hope I'm doing with this video as well. But also a lot of people just saying like it is possible to find your donor siblings and your donor, even if it's not clear on what kind of matches you're getting from Ancestry, MyHeritage, and 23andMe, and if they're maybe not 100%, close matches you're getting. Apparently, from sort of even a few more distant, like cousins and stuff, you can piece together through all of them, and there's these things called donor angels, who I still don't know how to find a donor angel. So if you do know, let me know, because I'm part of the Facebook group, but I don't know how to actually get one. Apparently a donor angel will find your missing pieces for you, which is incredible, like wow, but also very like wow, like just a bit mental, isn't it? So unfortunately, when I contacted HEPC, which is that UK database where they told me I did have the donor siblings, there's also another application, which I'll put below again, where you can contact to find any donor siblings that have also registered that they want contact. Same as the donor, who can also flip to be identifiable, but mine hasn't. Unfortunately, all 7, which really did surprise me, are not on this database. And I think the reason it surprised me is because it was 7. I was like 1 or 2, maybe, but 7. So either none of them know, like, they're donor conceived, or they know and because maybe it's different if you've already got brothers and sisters. I don't know. But for me, I don't think it would be. I just have this feeling that I need to know who these people are, without trying to get my hopes up that 1, I'll find them, and 2, they'll want to be contacted. Even though the We Are Donor Conceived group has lots of positive stories, so hopefully 1 of 7 would at least be a nice sort of odds with it. So I've done Ancestry and I've done MyHeritage. And I did Ancestry before I found out that I was donor conceived. I did it on this channel like a year and a half ago, and I didn't even recognise from the results that my dad wasn't my dad, my biological dad. I didn't even make that connection because not close matches, and the heritage was similar. But I do have that data. And then I also did the free thing, which someone advised me, it's gone now unfortunately, where you can upload your data from Ancestry to MyHeritage for free and get the matches. And in a weird turn of events, I actually ended up finding a relative that my mum didn't know that she had. So I didn't find anything for myself, but I found out like a long lost family situation for my mum without going into too much detail, which was crazy. But I'm happy for her. She's hopefully going to meet this very close family member soon to chat with them, which is amazing. So I've got 1 left, 23andMe, and I've kind of been waiting for it to go down in price, but I'm going to get it in the next couple of days. I'll do a video talking about my experience, similar to what I did with Ancestry, but now with more of a focus. And the hope is this is sort of the last DNA avenue to find one of my donor siblings. And I'm just kind of hoping that there's some clue or one of them is on there. The thing with 23andMe, I'm getting the vibe that it's more American. So I already feel like that's like something that's maybe a bit like, oh, okay. Maybe some results will come from it. This is the start of my journey though, because I think no matter what the results are, I'm actively now pursuing finding my donor siblings, and I'll try and update you when I can, hopefully one day with some news that I'm going to go meet one of my donor siblings. I think for me it's a big deal because it's kind of just like, I think it would just answer so many questions, and I think more of it just being an only child for so long and knowing you've got a half DNA sibling out there. I think I have this this instinct to know. And then I've spoken to a few people who were like, oh, why would you be bothered? And all that, oh, really? It's been interesting, the reactions to the donor thing in general. Some people have been really oh my God, that's can't believe that happened. Can't believe you found out like that. My whole world would be like, wow, like I don't think I know how to react. I'd be so angry. And then I've had the opposite of like, oh, like I don't think I'd be bothered. Like oh, right, really? Like, so it's been really interesting, the two reactions. I think I'm some sort of in the middle of them both. If you are donor conceived and you found a donor sibling, please share your story below. If you're a donor angel or know how to find one, please comment below. And if you've got anything else you'd love to tell me about, you know, your own story or how you maybe found a donor sibling or didn't find, I'd love to know. And maybe we can have a place for all of that information in the comment section for this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Shameless plug. I've got a new song out. It's called Lose Myself. It's on Spotify now. Please check it out. It's a banger, I promise.